What is up, guys and gals? Welcome to another episode of the Non-Stop Review. I'm your host, as always, Devon, and joining me equally as always is Rick.
Hello, everybody.
Now, those of you familiar with the show know that I do this every goddamn week. We don't like to mince words. We like to jump straight in. So, Rick, what are we doing today, buddy?
Steven Universe Future, Episode 8, Why So Blue? 3, 2, 1, and go.
So, those of you who watched the episode last week probably heard me complain about me going on autopilot when I do the intro. So I decided to spice it up, but I couldn't think of anything to say. So I just said some inane bullshit.
Well, what can we have as an alternative to mincing words? Mashing words? Bungling words? Well, we'll find out next week.
I suppose. This episode's called Why So Blue, and I was instantly like, oh, cool, never mind, that answers that question. I was going to say, is it blue diamond or lapis? It's fucking lapis.
Yeah.
I need to turn this episode up because it's not as loud as the last one. Oh, it's a fucking pumpkin, but different.
Yeah.
By pumpkin, I mean Peridot's little pet from Steven Universe Regular, not an actual pumpkin.
Which I believe is the only creature to have been confirmed death.
Thank you, Rick. It just coomed.
Yeah.
Don't agree so readily, you're meant to argue. I don't think they're destroying it out of malicious intent. I think they're just having fun. Which is kind of fucked up when you think about it.
Yeah.
Is this why there are so many different fucking lapises in all of the pornographies?
Maybe so.
So they're not terraforming it for the diamonds, they're doing it for themselves, I imagine.
Yeah.
Lapis is one of the realest fucking characters in this show at times. How come Lapis is cosplaying a genie?
This is the costume that she got after the wedding, I assume.
Is it? Okay. But she is a genie right now.
Yeah. Puffer pants and sandals.
Wow, Stephen! Fucking A! I've got a lesbian wife and a farm. Like... Come on, my baby! Come on, my darling! Come on, my ragtime gal! Not even blue. Please don't stomp out the little baby. Oh, it just shits out new ones.
Yeah.
That doesn't look like a fun... Don't drink that, Stephen. Like, with them manipulating the water, I'm just remember that one comic of Lapis looking at another gem with big tits, getting jealous and making hers bigger with water. So, straight up, like, crystal gems or gems in general can go toe-to-toe with Super Saiyans, is what I'm hearing.
So it would seem. Just like two of them could just create a Destructo disc.
Well, it's like one of the whole things with Dragon Ball Z and why you don't cross it over with other things is every argument stops real quick because you can just destroy planets with a finger.
Yep. Yeah, they just have to choose not to, so they can have a fight.
At least one of the Lapis is getting into it. Wouldn't it be so weird if she started twerking? A new way of feeling. I blanked for a second there, Rick. I don't know why I did that.
Also, here we have the title drop.
Yep. Much like when we reviewed songs for the podcast, we're mostly shutting the fuck up. Fuck me, that's so long ago, ain't it? Listen, if you can't be convinced by a musical number, I don't think anything can convince you.
Well, I think that was also Spinell's message. You can't just solve everything by having a sing-song.
And yet, that was Spinell's initial attempt. Granted, she was swinging a scythe around while she was singing, but you know. Wow, the composition of that shot was quite nice.
It was, yeah.
I feel real bad for our Lapis right now.
Little bit.
Like, if this was an 18, Stephen would be like, why are you being a cunt? Stop being a cunt. I love it. Lapis is like, I tried negotiating, I tried singing, now I'm gonna punch you in the fucking face.
Yeah. Well, she pretty much said it. If we'd done it my way, it would have been done from the start.
Like, I'm just thinking of Goku, just like, I'm gonna deck you in the schnoz. I'm not being rude, right? But did Lapis not see that coming? Like, could it not have been predicted that, hey, if I punch these people who are murderous psychopaths, they might hit me back? So, Lapises are so strong because they're not warriors, they're terraformers, which is a whole nother level of fucking bullshit.
Yep.
Jesus Christ,
But our Lapis is creative.
Did she just fucking brute force over their control?
Yeah, she just controlled what they were controlling.
Fucking A. Rick, I know you have a thing for Sue, but calm down. Jesus, calm it down a bit, Lapis.
Pasai, don't fuck with me.
Sorry, Rick. I was looking at the visuals and how adorable they are and how upset Stephen was. That was a good joke you just made.
Yup.
Jesus Christ. I'm just going to say it. This is fucking Kratos' whole deal in the Norse God of War games.
What, that every time he beats someone up, they try and become his friend because they like him now?
No, he's got his kid with him, and his kid is just like, oh my god, that was so cool, Dad, you beat the shit out of them, you're so strong. And Kratos just goes, that was not strength, that was weakness, because he lost control.
Yeah.
Well, that didn't take him long, did it? Oh, only one of them came.
Yeah. Yeah, specifically only one of them.
My god, like, the freckles are so adorable, it's not fair.
I know, right? Now, a thing I really liked about this episode, before we get into that, is that it showed Lapis smiling a lot more than in the entirety of Steven Universe Basic.
Well, yeah, because Lapis's whole deal in Basic was every single time she was on screen, she had a raw fucking deal. I think the only time she smiled was like legitimately smiled was when Steven went to fetch her from the moon, and that quickly got snuffed out when she was like, "But I really don't want to fight, though."
Yeah. So yeah, it's really nice to just see Lapis smiling. This is a smile I will protect.
There's nothing I like more than seeing fan art of Lapis and Peridot just chilling on the farm, which, again, Lapis has got her own issues when it comes to relationships, and we see it a lot in the show, especially involving Peridot, where she's not as bad as Jasper, but she's got some very toxic traits. Like, I can't remember the specific episodes, you'll have to forgive me, but there's one thing when Peridot seems about ready to jump on Steven's idea and say yeah, and Lapis is like, I don't think that's a good idea, and while she's saying it, she is holding Peridot's shoulder quite hard, shall we say.
Yeah, that feels it.
Like, it's subtler and it's still there.
It kind of goes both ways with Lapis and Peridot, because both of them are kind of fighting an entire life of conditioning versus what they've learned recently.
Yeah, okay.
And it manifests in different ways.
Well, here's the thing, though, is Peridot's got it slightly easier, because Peridot, one, didn't have a previous relationship, so everything's new to her. Her experience with relationships isn't fucking utter misery and controlling. Also,
yeah.
And I mean this in the nicest way possible, Peridot is autistic as fuck, and when she gets explained a new concept and she grasps it, she leans into it fully. So when Steven's sharing all these positive things and relationships and advice, she just goes, yeah, that makes sense, and rolls with it. Whereas Lapis is, she's got prior history, and that prior history, almost none of it is good. We kind of touched about things that happened in the episode, but we haven't really spoken about our feelings. Rick, what did you think?
I really liked it. I think it might be one of my favourites of this season.
Now, bear in mind, audience, Rick is a massive Lapis simp.
I am. I'm a simp for Lapis. I'm a simp for Peridot. If I could give them the MVP every week, then I would. But they don't show up all the time. So there we go. How about you? What do you think?
It was a good episode. It's always interesting to see homeworld versions of the gems that we've come to know and love. Which might sound a bit weird because Lapis kind of was when we first met her, but because she'd been trapped in a mirror for so long, and she was technically a civilian, not involved in any war stuff during the rebellion, it was a different perspective already from just a base homeworld gem.
Yeah, because the only other ones we've seen really are the rubies, really, aren't they?
Rubies. We've seen the off colors, which is a bit of a weird one to put it in because they themselves are outcasts, but it does go to show that if you do not conform, we will expel you.
And the million amethysts, who Amethyst just gets on with immediately.
Yeah, because amethysts are himbos.
Yeah.
Like, just straight up.
It just so happens that ours is a short stack himbo.
But yeah, let's do our usual wind down proper. Rick, do you have a favourite moment?
It's probably when Lapis just overpowers the other two just by taking control of all their water and just goes ham. Like, specifically when she breaks the saw blade.
Yeah, I liked it because it was a bit like it wasn't subtle, but it was because it took me a moment, and you will hear it if you go back and listen, where my immediate reaction is, did she just? Did that actually happen? Because that's some fucking next level shit.
Yes. How about you? What was your favourite moment?
My favourite moment was just after Lapis finished her song, and she's all hopeful and optimistic, and I'm like, that's good for Lapis. And then the other Lapises like take the piss out of her, and Stephen wanted to call them cunts.
Yeah.
But yeah, that brings us to the all-important question, Rick. Who is your MVP today? As if I have to fucking ask.
Yeah, you don't even have to ask. It's our Lapis Lazuli. And it was her episode. She got to smile. She got to show off how much of a badass she is and always was. It's her episode through and through. Stephen was there too. How about you?
I mean, yeah, I agree. It was Lapis's episode. I didn't notice it consciously while watching it. But you're right. It's nice to see Lapis fucking smile and enjoy life.
Yeah, it was also kind of a fun little comparison, in my opinion, that Lapis's complexion is paler than the other two, as if she has in some way lightened up over the course of the series.
Maybe. I really don't know. I don't know if that was conscious or not. But yeah, like even without the optimistic like joy of just seeing Lapis being happy, it was also nice to be reminded that, oh yeah, by the way, Lapis can kill everyone.
Oh yeah, she just chooses not to.
In a one-on-one fight, she is probably the strongest if you don't include the diamonds. And even then, the diamonds are like in a weird spot where they're both really strong but also really fucking not. It really depends on the episode.
Oh yeah, they're kind of dwarfs if they're...
No,
they're Capcom bosses.
I was going to say, Rick, you have this tendency to compare everything to fucking Worf, and it does my head in.
Yeah, they're Capcom bosses. They're bullshit when you're against them, but when you unlock them and get them as playable, they're not that much of a big deal.
I don't even think that's a good comparison. It's just because we've only ever seen the diamonds fight against the protagonists, they've never really gone full out, so we don't know what their strengths are. We know Blue Diamond's powers are more or less obliterating to gems, except for Lapis, because she's been through so much shit she just don't care no more.
Yeah.
And Yellow Diamond's big deal seems to be that she is just incredibly strong physically, but again, she never really goes all out.
Yeah, like the only time we've seen diamonds really fight each other, they weren't trying to kill each other. They were just trying to, have a scuffle, have one subdue the other.
But anyway, that was a bit of a tangent. Apologies. Join us again next week, guys, for more Steven Universe Future. Until then,
bye everybody.